Hello everyone and welcome to another Starfield video. My name's Brian if you happen to be new around here, and I do want to say a special thank you guys. I was able to capture the mystical number 69420. Welcome into all the new subscribers, and y'all have long since surpassed that, so thank you all so very much. Really, it's very humbling, and I'm going to try to do my best to bring you something very positive every day as a part of your content feed for being here. And that's what this video is going to be about. We're going to be talking about the latest Starfield developments, but also what you guys have to say. And then at the end of this video, as a part of the class dismiss section, I'm going to tell you guys how I went and paid off $100,000 in debt, and following the steps, hopefully you can too, because that was a question and a request from y'all. So, all right, let's talk about it in real time. But on this note, let's start this video off right. JDub and I have buried the hatchet. If you guys haven't seen, JDub was memeing on me. He was talking some shit about me, and we have since buried the hatchet. We actually both appeared on the Uni Sensei. He did a Spaces talk over on Twitter today. And if you guys get upset at me because of the class dismiss section of the channel, let me tell you, like, this gets into some really deep stuff, but it does go into gaming, and JDub and I were able to sit down, talk it out, and honestly, I have a lot of respect for the dude. Really solid. Whether you like him and his content over on Twitter or not, I just wanted to kind of let you guys know. Now, he then goes on to say this: well, Starfield was not the next generation experience I was hoping for, and that Xbox would finally bring. I ain't gonna be Forza Motorsports, so I guess I will have to keep on waiting. Maybe the Xbox Series X will prevent the next generation of games from hitting Xbox this entire generation, and I doubt that will ever happen. The engineer in me comes out and says, man, I wish we could get everybody that is a gamer, talking salt, to get in, getting some coding sessions, getting in some team efforts, working on these engines to understand that it's not as simple, and at the same time, it's not as, I guess, malign or, malicious. There we go. We got there. Anyway, Una Sensei, just to give you guys context, if you don't know who they are, kind of tweets this out. There are more weirdos on my timeline trying to prove Starfield is garbage than actually trying to play the game. Nobody wanted Tears of the Kingdom to fail. No one wanted God of War to fail. PlayStation fanboys really hate Xbox for trying to deliver on a great game. Madness activity. Now, in this case, I want to kind of address something. Yesterday, I tweeted out, and also I posted a video going over the whole Bill Clinton GTA thing. Basically, just to give everybody a little bit of heads up, the internet, every source that I was reading and seeing as that event was occurring was showcasing him as a Sony Pony, so I labeled the video accordingly. If you want to put Sony Pony in the title of any video, that is a surefire way of getting tons and tons of comments. But the content was pretty much first to market, so a lot of people were, frustrated at me. I don't apologize for it. I stand by calling a duck a duck. If it looks like a duck, talks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it seems to me like it's a duck. But clearly, obviously, a GTA fan, and also since that moment, people have been able to find other elements where they've come up on stage yelling about GTA 6. So if you guys are offended about that, suck it up. Anyhow, let's move on. Darius confirms that you can actually go outside your ship and float around your ship in Starfield. I think that's freaking cool, and I'm very excited to see it. And then if you guys saw at Gamescom the announcement, they pressed, and all the beautiful stuff that they delivered, we also have Todd Howard confirming or stating this about the game itself, that this game, excuse me as I stutter through that sentence, is irresponsibly large. Man, my dyslexia just sucks today. Irresponsibly large as what they see as Starfield. And this only has me more excited for Elder Scrolls the 6th. I don't know why I said the in front of the number 6, but we're going to keep it. Anyway, Elder Scrolls 6, this is something I think is going to be a real awesome precursor. And they announced Elder Scrolls 6 long time ago. It's been years and years and years. Obviously, I think Starfield is right now the main focus, but I would believe if I was going to put money on the next big Bethesda game, it would be that one. And I would wonder and expect that as soon as Starfield marketing and hype is kind of, dwindled down, if we won't see that conversation kicking up soon. Anyhow, I got a couple more things to share with you guys today before we get into the real cool stuff. Derp 4007. Just love saying that name. My experiences are this: a new Bethesda universe with a new story, new ideas, new everything. I love Fallout and still do. Same with Elder Scrolls, bugs and all. I love modding after my first playthrough. I love the work that Bethesda does, and I have good feelings about Starfield as well. Bugs and all. I think that's really well said. Joyful's Arcade follows this up, says, I asked some of my PS5 friends if Starfield comes out and delivers, does something like the Series S seem more reasonable as an entry price point just to try out Starfield? I wouldn't be surprised if the SKU sees a nice spike if Starfield gets its praises on release. So here's where it's going to be interesting to see, because expectations are always going to be something that can bite you in the ass. You know, they can really screw with you. And that's where that's actually what I'm wanting to see, because no matter what, everybody here that's watching this video that's still here, we're still hyped. We are excited. We're bought in. We're pot committed. We're ready to go. And the cards are going to be shown to us here in just a few weeks. I think 8 days from the time of this recording. Might be off by a little bit on that. And because of that, because of these expectations, yes, it will be interesting to see, because I am actually more excited when somebody says they're on the fence, when they're like, you know what, I'm going to wait for reviews, because it's going to be that person who is going to, I think, be the canary in the coal mine. You know, are they seeing the reviews and then are they in? Or are they seeing the reviews and going, yep, that's what I wanted? Because even if the reviews come out as an 8 or a 7, like, I just love video games. I'm going to find the fun and I'm going to find the value in that experience, because I'm not looking to make clickbait, rage bait, hate videos about why the game is dying and the numbers are going down and the whole standard YouTube, shtick, which we can all sit here and bemoan it. We can all sit here and complain about it, but it's the thing that does the thing. It sucks. But, at the same time, we are the ones who control the algorithm. You guys control your own algorithm. So if you engage with that kind of material, you're going to get that kind of material. And, so the power is in your hands. Responsibility as you will. And with all of that, I thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. This is now the class dismissed section of the video, where I just wish you guys all the best. Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to sit down and actually walk you through with this beautiful calculator. Amazing content, I know, by the way, about how I paid off $100,000 in debt. And the debt didn't actually start off with that 100,000 mark. It actually was something more along the lines of 70,000, which is where I started. I had $70,000 worth of debt. I got married to my wife. I had a paid off car. And in my hubris and in my pride, I wanted my wife to have a really nice car. So I went and bought her a car, which brought our total debt, credit cards, car payment, and student loans to $70,000, probably like $7,100 or something along those lines. But for simple math and keeping this as simple and quick as possible, this is what we did. So I had a Mustang GT. I was living the single life. I had a job and saved up some money and was able to afford a car. It was paid off. And I still carried my student loans and had a little bit of credit card debt here and there. All in all, felt like I was doing pretty good. Got married, inherited, my wife's student loans, and quickly things just got very, very difficult. And so we found somebody called Dave Ramsey. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. And we did the Dave Ramsey snowball method, in which that you pay the smallest debt to the largest. But we got real radical. My wife, we owed like $32,000 on the car. So I sold the car. In this case, and I also sold my Mustang GT, and I used the equity in the Mustang, and I used the equity, which we had a little bit of equity in my wife's SUV. Like I said, I bought her a nice car to buy a fully paid off vehicle. So we had one car, we went on one car, and that brought us down to $38,000. Now, the money that we saved, because I wasn't having a massive car payment because of all these little things, it freed up enough wiggle room so that all of a sudden I was able to start making additional payments of $500 a month towards the debt. And that just kind of kept going on and going on and going on. Now, all of a sudden, I started paying off, at this case, $2,000. Well, that paid off one of the student loans. And then I was looked out at it and said, hey, that student loan is actually paying, I have to pay, $25 a month. So all of a sudden I was throwing $525 at the debt each time. And I messed up the calculator, but you can kind of see how that goes and on and so forth. Now, a lot of people think that you want to focus in on the highest interest rate first. And from a mathematical perspective, yes. But getting into debt and getting out of debt isn't really a function of math. It's a function of the will and discipline. I had to learn to say no to myself quite a bit. And eventually that 38 turned into 30. And eventually that 30, because then by the time I was able to get out from under this, I was actually throwing $750 or $800 a month at the wall. And then eventually we started paying off some of the bigger debts. So all of a sudden I started being able to throw $1,500 because this is what was all just being spread out across the way. And then all of a sudden you start getting hope and you start realizing this is possible. And then you're able to start making a little extra money. And so I started taking on any extra job that I could. And then before you know it, all of a sudden we were in striking distance. And eventually we got a tax return because I was working so hard and we were, overpaying on our taxes. And all of a sudden I got a tax return for $8,000. And all of a sudden we were within 1 month of being absolutely free. We did that. We paid off that $2,400. But Brian, you said you paid off $100,000. That was just $70,000. So then I started actually, saving money. So we were taking that $2,500. By this point, we were able to save $2,500 a month, which is a lot of money. I'm not sitting here saying that this is an insignificant amount of money. So basically we were able to save up $15,000. It felt really good. And then my house sunk 6 inches on one side and I had to have emergency foundation surgery, which cost me $35,000. There's something that could have defeated me right here, but I had $15,000, so I was able to throw $15,000, and I had a fully paid off car, and I was able to get a lien put on that car for that additional amount, pushing me up to $100,000. I then went back at this and did that 2,500 minus 2,500. Well, not 25,000. It is what it is. Until the number actually reached zero. Ever since that point, I absolutely want to refuse to go into debt for anything, if at all possible. Debt is the ultimate last resort of an action. The discipline that I've learned through this, the pain that I learned through this, is that I have built a, kind of the mindset of saving and saving the money. And that's allowed me to be a lot more charitable. It's allowed me to be more of who I am, because essentially the phrase is that, my perspective, the thing that changed my worldview about what Dave Ramsey said is that you're made in the image and likeness of God. And God gave you Jesus Christ, who died for you. God is a giver. You are a giver because you're made in the images and likeness of God. So this is me. This is who I want to be. I want to be somebody who gives more than he takes, in this case. And it's not that you can't have money to do nice things. Money doesn't make you a good person. It doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you more of who you are. It makes you more of who you are. So if you're a good person, you'll do good things with money. If you're a bad person, you'll do bad things with money. So my best advice when it comes down to this is that you are fully in charge. Just like you're the one who puts the food in your mouth, you're the one, finances and that financial discipline is much like, discipline around your weight. And thankfully I've been losing weight, and ideally I'll get to a point where I'm able to retire very comfortably and also very generously to the world around me. And at the same time, also in a very healthy way, physically fit and well taken care of. And I'm on that road now. But you guys asked, so that was the answer. I thank you guys so much for allowing me to dive into this as a part of Class Dismissed. I hope you got some joy out of the video itself, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video, which should be sometime tomorrow. Thanks guys for being here. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully I'll see you next time, but until then, take care.